Hi everyone, I am Yasuko and it's time for Massage Monday. When you go to massage and ask for aromatherapy, the first thing you think of for relaxation is lavender. And I'm here at the Lavender Festival. I finally got to come here. So this week I'm going to show you what it's like. It's by 123 Farm, which is the largest organic lavender farm in Southern California. They have hosted this event since 2004, and this year was their 14th annual event, which took place 2 weekends in June from Thursday through Sunday. In the big lavender fields, they have more than 100 kinds of lavender. There are tags with the information on the characteristics and what it's used for. I loved watching the busy bees at work in pesticides-free environment. They have fresh and dried lavenders and all kinds of their own organic lavender products, such as teas, honeys, olive oils, lotions, and soaps, to name a few. They had a nice dining area with a stage for live music, bunch of chairs and tables, and served lavender-infused foods, desserts, and even beer and cocktails. Lavender and alcohol sounds very relaxing already. I tried their lavender mojito and it was very yummy. Unfortunately, I went kind of late and many things were sold out. They had workshops and seminars. I waited until the day before to register online, but they were all sold out. Lesson learned. I went to the free distillation demo and it was very educational. I will let you learn from their master gardener. It's lengthy, but the information is very good. Sorry about the occasional wind noise.
Big item here is a 150-gallon stainless steel cook pot, and that's where I put the plant material. And we close it up tight, and it kind of works like grandma's pressure cooker. What are essential oils? What are they? Simply put, they are volatile or aromatic compounds that are found in plants. And these compounds are responsible for doing very specific, vital or essential purposes for the plant, such as protecting the plant from UV and solar radiation like heat, cold, and drought, protecting the plant from pests, protecting the plant from infection, protecting and helping the plant to heal from physical injury. It's basically the immune system of the plant, or the essence of the plant. That's where that name comes from. When we're talking about essential, we're talking about essence. Or it's the life, for you Star Wars people out there, it's the life force of the plant. Humans have a very symbiotic relationship with plants, don't we? Plants exhale oxygen, which is vital or essential, there's that word again, to us. And we exhale carbon dioxide, which is essential to plants. They're cellular, we're cellular. So those compounds that help plants out could be useful to us. That's what we're finding. In fact, essential oil can, when rubbed on the skin, easily passes through the dermis and gets into our bloodstream in about 15 to 20 minutes. Very amazing. The fragrance, of course, and because we use it in cooking, so for culinary. Also wonderful for crafts. We use it also for medicinal or purposes, for health benefits. And then I like to mention real quickly that it's a good shrub to have in your yard. You may not know that, because it attracts beneficial creatures such as bees, ladybugs, praying mantises, hummingbirds, and butterflies. So why would you want praying mantises in your yard? They actually eat the bugs in your garden, so they're very beneficial. There are bees all over a lavender bush because of the flowers, and bees we need for helping pollinate things, don't we? If you have fruit trees, tomato plants, or any other thing that needs to be pollinated, that having a shrub like that will bring lots of bees. Okay, let's talk about the botanical family that lavender is a part of. It's part of the mint family, which is the Latin word for it is lamiaceae, which means to be washed or to wash. And that is, and also other plants that are in that same family are rosemary, thyme, oregano, and sage. So it's a very aromatic family. All lavenders are edible, the leaves and the flowers. And so, but there's just some that taste better than others. The true lavender, or angustifolia, also known as English lavender, more sweet and more flavorful and more mild. So I'm going to pass around an example. But before I do that, I have to read a waiver because I'm trying to be responsible. Hi, Jim! But I'm being responsible. I'm going to read this waiver, okay? You're going to laugh, but I have to do it. These statements are not FDA approved and not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease, okay? I'm not trying to be your doctor, but I am guilty of trying to share some information with you that I think will be a good tool that you can add to your health and wellness toolkit. Lavender is considered the essential oil that is a universal oil. It goes to wherever it's needed. It's adaptive. So, which is something that kind of baffles scientists. They can't figure out how it knows to go where it needs to go. Here's a short list. Calming, helps anxiety, insomnia, rashes and bug bites, sunburn, burns, heals wounds, antifungal, antibacterial, pain reliever, helps stomach disturbances, premenstrual discomfort. Certified pure, you've heard that before, but if it's essential oils are not regulated by the FDA, so it's really a misnomer. So here's how you know your provider is giving you a good product. If your provider is using the right kind of plants. Lavandula angustifolia, that true lavender I talked about earlier, English lavender, that's one of the best ones. Or the cross version, which it's called intermedia, and it's a cross version between that first plant that I told you about and another plant called latifolia. Now, when you get the cross of that kind of plant, you get the true lavender, and with the wonderful fragrance and sweet and nice flavor, mild. And then the other one that's got long stems and fat flowers full of oil. That's what you get from that cross. And good examples of that are the Provence and Grasso. And I'm going to pass those around. Provence is the one with the really long stems, and I have labels on there so you can look at it. We distill Provence because it has really high fragrance, high oil, and it's very intense. And we use that when we make our lotions and our soaps. We put that inside because what is wonderful about a lotion like that is you want to have that great smell, right? And the soaps, that's where Provence is wonderful for that. So the right kind of plant, grown in perfect climate. These types of plants love a Mediterranean climate like this, and we have against a hillside because lavenders like rocky alkaline soil. So they're not very picky with regard to that. So we have the perfect climate. Harvested at the peak time, right when they're flowering is the best time to do it. Harvesting fresh. Our lavender, or whatever it is that we're distilling, is harvested the day of, the morning of. So nothing sits overnight or for days, it's always harvested fresh. And it's harvested, nothing is ever added. Some providers add alcohol or what have you. We don't add anything. In fact, in the harvesting process, it is harvested by people, not machines. Farmers go out there, they grab the stems, use a sickle. A sickle is the curved tool with the teeth and a handle. They grab the lavender stems and they go. And so they fill cartons that look like these milk cartons full of the stems and the flowers. So you know that you're not getting anything, you're not getting weeds or anything else in there. Distilled slowly is the last criteria that I'm going to talk about. Some providers will distill at a very high pressure. And the reason why they're doing that is that they're trying to get as much oil as possible. The only problem with that is that it's not as pure. I like the quote, "Being in a hurry is the opposite of success." That's true with most things, with cooking for sure. We distill very slowly. We distill for 45 minutes each batch, and we do it at 0.5 psi pressure. So we do it slowly. And lastly, I want to talk to you about how you use oils and how you access them. So you can access essential oils 3 ways: topically, aromatically, and internally. Topically, let's start with that. Lavender is very mild. So is rosemary. In fact, and tea tree is pretty mild too. And peppermint, you may have to dilute that a little bit. It's a more hot oil. But you can put those right on your skin directly. Unless you feel, if you know that you have sensitive skin, then what you can do is dilute the oil with a carrier oil, such as olive oil, coconut oil, almond, jojoba oil. These are examples of oils that you can use. The ratio is 1 drop of essential oil to 2 drops of carrier oil. So you rub them together. Let's say that that you have the carrier oil. Rub it together, and then you put it on your touch spots. Some of the touch spots are like this: the occipital triangle on the back of the neck, behind the ears, temples, neck, chest, wrists. And essential oil people, where is another place that is good to put essential oils? That's right, feet, right? I heard feet. So the bottom of your feet have big pores underneath there, and that is just a great place to rub your essential oil. So that is topically. Now, what I like to say, if you're just trying to calm down and sleep, then you could put it on the touch points. But let's say that you have a bug bite, you can rub it right on the area of concern. Or if you have a sunburn, you can put it right on the area of concern. So because some of you may be vacationing, and remember I said that lavender is like the Swiss Army knife. Helps with sunburn. If you go to the beach, okay, lavender. If you get a bug bite out camping, lavender. If you're on a car ride and you're going to some of those icky bathrooms that don't have soap, lavender is an awesome hand sanitizer. What about aromatically? We've all seen diffusers, right? They come in all shapes and sizes. They're a little device basically with a water reservoir. You can add drops of essential oil, close it up, plug it in, and it dispenses a wonderful, cool vapor that carries the essential oil out there that you can enjoy aromatically. You don't have to have a plug-in. You can get a necklace like so. It's basically a locket. And it has a felt pad inside. You can put a drop or 2 of essential oil inside. And you can experience, I'm being diffused as we speak. And guess which one I'm using, right? If you're a speaker and you're in front of a crowd, which one of those oils might be helpful for me?
Lavender.
That's right. It's got lavender in it. But you don't have to spend a dime on diffusers, because a great way to experience it aromatically is simply putting a drop or 2 in the palm of your hand. Like I was mentioning about the peppermint, just put the oil in your hand, rub it together, make a funnel like so. Breathe it in for 20 seconds. And that's the true, 20 seconds is the magic number. When you're rubbing, 20 seconds. When you're inhaling it, 20 seconds. So I think people can remember that, pretty easily. So what I like to mention is keep your hands when you have the oil away from your eyes though, because if you get it in there, oh boy, it'll sting. Even the mild essential oil lavender will sting. And peppermint, you'll be dancing around a jig, let me tell you, if you get that in your eyes. So what is the usual first aid for anything that gets in your eye? So that's right, that's what they usually say is water when you get something in your eye. But with essential oils, that is not the case. What you would do, because what will happen is if you try to flush with water, it'll push it in further. So the right thing to do, remember those carrier oils I talked about earlier? You use one of those, dab that area with the carrier oil, and that's what will take it out. So just an FYI. Is it safe for children? Lavender is for sure safe for children. But for children ages 6 and older, that's what I'll talk about. And you simply dilute it, double. 1 drop of essential oil to 4 drops of carrier oil. Okay, so that's what you can use with children. Also, I took a class with regard to dogs. Lavender is safe for dogs, so you would just use the same dilution as you do for children. Why would it be helpful for dogs? Well, dogs get kind of anxious too, don't they? And they need to calm down. They get bug bites and cuts too, don't they? So that's where essential oil can be useful for that. Now the calming part of it, where would you put it on the dog? Well, if it's a bug bite, you can put it right on that. But if you're just trying to calm he or she down, you can put it on their touch points, which on the bottom of the feet, see, on the pads of the feet are good. And then also in their groin, in the groin section where there's not very much hair. That's a good spot to put it too. So it's useful for dogs. You can take all 4 of these internally except for tea tree. So let's talk about capsules. You can get vegetable capsules and put essential oil inside of that and swallow it. Or you can use 1 drop of essential oil and put it in 4 ounces of fluid. That's another way. People take it internally by putting it sublingual. Sublingual means tongue, under the tongue. You can put a drop of essential oil under there and it can absorb that way. But to be truthful, my 3 o'clock person, who is a wellness guy, he doesn't recommend anything essential oils internally anyway, and I agree with him. The mucous membranes can be very sensitive. So just know your sensitivity and just be careful is the main thing about that. Okay, hi again, hello, bon voyage, safe trip.
Unfortunately, that's when my phone died. But in this distillation demo, only about 30 milliliters of essential oil was extracted, which is 3 of these tiny bottles. It makes sense why these tiny bottles can be expensive. And I find theirs much more fragrant and the aroma lasts much longer compared to other ones I've used. They also offer organic farm camp for kids and adults. For more information, go to 123farm.com. If you ever go there, take a short hike and go say hi to the 1100-year-old oak tree. By the way, I was touching the tree and I saw a snake right by my feet and I jumped higher than I thought I could. So it was my very first Lavender Festival and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I learned a lot about lavender and other herbs. I got to try some lavender-infused food, although a lot of them were sold out, so I cannot wait to go back next year to eat those food. Now I have about an hour and 15-minute drive home, so as you can see, I have this shiatsu massager set up on my driver's seat, so let's turn it on. And I do not want any heat, it's like 90 degrees right now. Let's turn off the heat. I also got this iced lavender latte. I don't know if I like the taste, but we'll see who's going to win, lavender or caffeine. Hopefully caffeine because I have to drive home. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back next week. Make it a great week. Feel free to comment below and please don't forget to subscribe.